Welcome back to your Billion Dollar Blueprint. I'm Hector Alvarez, and today we're mastering the new script, the exact language that elevates you from an agent to a strategic advisor. We've already seen how the SBA financing empowers high value owners like CPAs, dentists, and veterinarians to dominate their market. Now it's time to speak their language. This audience thinks financially first. They are debt averse, profit driven, and view real estate as an operating expense, not an asset. To earn their trust, you must speak directly about what drives their decisions: tax efficiency, capital preservation. Qualified owners can acquire multi-million dollar assets for just 10% down. By occupying 51% of the building, the remaining space generates rental income and long term wealth. This isn't just a property, it's your strategic advantage. Finding the right prospect is only half the equation. The real leverage comes from using language that positions you as a financial strategist, not a transactional agent. The biggest mistake agents make is selling the product, the building, instead of the solution, reducing taxes and protecting working capital. This is the mindset shift. Stop selling bricks, start selling strategy. It's a deliberate shift away from property features and toward financial outcomes. Instead of square footage, you show how ownership reduces taxes, preserves cash, and builds wealth. That mindset separates strategic advisors from commodity agents. To connect with analytical, data-verse professionals, your language must target their financial drivers, not the building itself. Avoid these openings. Have you thought about buying? That's too generic and invites an immediate no. The market is strong. It's a great time to buy. This sounds commission driven, not client driven. I found a great 4,000 square foot space. Square footage does not move balance sheets. Leading with financial strategy builds credibility. Leading with buildings destroys it. Now, let's focus on what actually works. This is the new script. Five phrases that convert high value tenants into owners by targeting their financial priorities and immediately establishing your authority. We use five precise phrases that reframe the opportunity. First, the opening hook. Lead with their tax burden because it targets money they are losing every month. I help high cash flow businesses stop paying 100% non deductible rent and start building assets with powerful tax depreciation shields. What's the impact? You elevate the conversation instantly. They already understand rent as an expense. You introduce depreciation as a strategic advantage. Second, the core question, the rent to equity pivot. At $4,500 a month, you're currently funding a landlord's retirement. Why not run an analysis on converting that rent into your own equity? You connect their largest monthly expense to ownership and control. The question creates curiosity instead of resistance. Third, the capital conversation. Eliminate down payment fear. Most owners think they need 25% to buy. We use a structure that secures the asset for just 10% cash, allowing you to preserve your working capital for staff and growth instead of tying it up in down payment. Impact, you sell liquidity and control without even saying SBA. Fourth, the future vision. Introduce passive income. Picture your business as the tenant and your holding company as the owner. You occupy 51%, lease the rest, and the rent pays down the mortgage while building a long term asset. Impact, you're no longer selling real estate, you are selling a wealth multiplier. And fifth, the low commitment call to action. Give me 5 minutes next week. I'll run a one-page comparison of your current rent versus ownership costs. If the math doesn't make sense, discard it. No risk, just data. Impact, analytical professionals say yes to numbers, not pitches. These five phrases change the entire conversation. They move the owner from skepticism to curiosity, from curiosity to clarity, and from clarity to action. At this point, you are no longer talking about real estate. You're talking about tax efficiency, capital preservation, strategic control, and wealth creation. Mastering the new script completes your transformation. You now understand the rules, the targets, and the language required to convert high value prospects into real opportunities. Your next step, run your first property ownership assessment. Find a local business owner who is renting and use these five phrases to offer a side by side financial analysis. This isn't a pitch, it's a data driven strategy session. The game has changed. You aren't a residential agent chasing listings, you're a business property consultant, a strategist, and a deal architect. Don't structure your first deal alone. Send me your next scenario. I'll run the numbers, confirm our eligibility, and give you the strategy. I am your broker and your deal partner. Let's turn your next opportunity into a funded transaction.